Hello everyone. Before we begin, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel and leave a comment saying where you're from and what time you're watching. That way, YouTube will keep showing you stories like this. Now let's begin. I've worked night shifts for almost 3 years now. You get used to the silence. The hum of computers, the distant echo of air vents. It becomes normal. Honestly, I even started to prefer it over the chaos of daytime. That night started like any other. It was just me and Daniel left in the office. Everyone else had already gone home before the storm hit. You could hear the rain slamming against the windows, heavy and constant, like someone trying to get in. Daniel sat across the room, headphones on, occasionally glancing at his screen. We didn't talk much, but we didn't need to. There's a quiet understanding between people who work nights. Around 11:40 p.m., the lights flickered for the first time. Not completely off. Just a quick dim, like the building blinked. I looked up. Daniel didn't react. "You saw that?" I asked. He didn't respond. I assumed he just didn't hear me. So I went back to work. That was my first mistake. Because when I looked up again a few minutes later, Daniel was gone. His chair was still slightly spinning. His headphones were still on the desk. But he was gone, and I hadn't heard him leave. At first, I didn't think much of it. Maybe he went to the restroom. Maybe he stepped out to take a call. People do that all the time. Still, something felt off. I stood up and called out, "Daniel?" No answer. The office felt bigger without him. Empty in a way that didn't feel normal. I walked toward the hallway that led to the restrooms. The lights there flickered again, longer this time. The kind of flicker that makes shadows stretch and shift in ways they shouldn't. "Daniel?" I called again. Nothing. I checked both restrooms. Empty. That's when I started to feel it. That quiet pressure in your chest. The kind that tells you something isn't right, even if you can't explain why. I went back to the main office area. His chair had stopped spinning now. I stared at it for a second too long. Then I noticed something else. The main entrance door. Closed. Locked. From the inside. I walked over and tried the handle. It didn't budge. That was strange. We never locked that door during shifts. I tried the emergency exit near the break room. Locked too. A cold feeling spread through my body. I checked every door. Every single one was locked. From the inside. That doesn't happen. Not unless someone locks them manually. But there were only 2 of us here. And now, I was alone. Or at least, I thought I was. That's when I heard the footsteps. Soft at first. Behind me. I turned immediately. Nothing. The office was exactly how I left it. Empty desks. Dim lights. Rain hitting the windows. I stood still, trying to listen. Silence. Then, step. Closer this time. Right behind me. I spun around again. Still nothing. My heart started racing now. Fast. Loud enough that I could hear it in my ears. "This isn't funny," I said out loud, even though I knew no one was there to hear it. Or at least, that's what I kept telling myself. I backed toward my desk, not taking my eyes off the open space in front of me. That's when the lights flickered again. This time, they went out completely, but it felt longer. When the lights came back, I swear, for just a moment, I saw someone standing at the end of the room, still, watching me. Then the lights flickered again, and it was gone. I couldn't breathe properly now. My hands were shaking. I grabbed my phone and turned on the flashlight. The beam cut through the dim office, but it didn't make me feel safer. If anything, it made the shadows sharper, more defined, like they were hiding something. Then I heard it again, right behind me, breathing. Slow. Close. I froze. I didn't turn around this time. I couldn't, because something inside me already knew. If I turned, I'd see it, and I wasn't ready for that, so I just stood there, listening, feeling that presence right behind me. Then suddenly, it stopped. The breathing, the footsteps, everything, gone. I turned slowly. Nothing. Just empty space. I didn't wait anymore. I ran. Straight to the security room. The security room door wasn't locked. That alone felt like a miracle. I rushed inside and slammed it shut behind me. Locked it. Then I turned to the CCTV monitors. Every camera in the office was displayed there. I scanned through them quickly. Everything looked normal. Empty. Until I rewound the footage. Back to around 11:40 p.m. That's when Daniel disappeared. I found the moment. He was sitting at his desk, just like I remembered. Then, he slowly stood up. But something was wrong. He wasn't looking at his screen. He was looking at me. Directly at me. But I hadn't noticed that at the time. And then, he walked out of frame. Not toward the hallway. Not toward the exit. He walked behind me. Toward where I was sitting. I kept watching. My hands trembling. Because the next part didn't make sense. The camera showed me sitting there. Working. Alone. But then, right behind me, Daniel was standing. Completely still. Watching me. For several minutes. I never turned around. I never reacted. Because I didn't know he was there. And then, he just disappeared. Right behind me. Like he was never there at all. I don't remember how I got out of the building that night. At some point, the doors unlocked on their own. Security said it was probably a system glitch caused by the storm. They also said Daniel had already left hours before. Around 10 p.m. That doesn't make sense. Because I talked to him after that. I saw him. I heard him. And the cameras prove something was there. Even if no one believes me. I quit the next day. Never went back. But sometimes, when I'm trying to sleep, I think about that footage. About how long he stood behind me. Watching. Waiting. And the worst part, there's one thing I didn't tell anyone. Something I noticed when I watched the footage again later. Right before Daniel disappeared behind me. He smiled. Not at the camera. Not in the room. But at me. Like he knew something I didn't. And sometimes, I still feel it. That same presence. Standing just behind me. Quiet. Breathing. Waiting for me to turn around. Night shifts in hospitals have a different kind of silence. It's not peaceful. It's heavy. The kind that makes every small sound feel important. Monitors beeping, distant footsteps, the low hum of fluorescent lights. I had only been working at the hospital for about 3 months when they paired me with her. Martha. She was a senior nurse. Calm. Experienced. The kind of person everyone trusted without question. At first, I felt lucky. She knew everything, procedures, patient histories, even how to handle difficult families. She never raised her voice. Never seemed stressed. But there was something about her that I couldn't explain. She paid too much attention. Not just to the patients. To me. "You look tired tonight," she said once, without even looking at me. I hadn't said anything. Hadn't even yawned. I laughed it off. I just didn't sleep well. She nodded slowly. I know. That was the first time it felt strange. But I ignored it. Because in a place like that, you rely on people like Martha. You don't question them. That was my first mistake. It started with small things. Details she shouldn't have known. We were reviewing patient charts one night when she casually said, "You should double-check room 214. You missed something earlier." I frowned. I haven't even been to 214 yet. She looked at me then. Not confused. Certain. "Yes, you have." For a second, I thought maybe I had forgotten. Night shifts blur together sometimes. So I checked the chart. My initials were there. Documenting vitals. Time-stamped. From an hour ago. I stared at it, trying to remember. But there was nothing. No memory of that room. No memory of that patient. "You need to be more careful," Martha said softly. "Mistakes like that can be dangerous." Her tone wasn't harsh. But it felt final. Like a judgment. After that, I started paying closer attention. Or at least I tried to. But things kept happening. Charts updated in my name that I didn't remember touching. Medications signed off under my ID. Even notes written in a style that looked like mine, but weren't. Or maybe they were. That's the part that scared me. Because the more I tried to prove it wasn't me, the more it started to feel like it was. Martha always seemed to be nearby when it happened. Watching. Correcting. Guiding. "You're forgetting again," she'd say. Or, "We already discussed this." We. Always we. Like she was slowly pulling me into something I didn't understand. And then one night, she crossed a line she shouldn't have been able to cross. We were alone at the nurse's station. Around 3:10 a.m. The quietest part of the night. I was trying to organize patient files, double-checking everything, making sure nothing slipped past me again. That's when Martha spoke. "You used to hate hospitals, didn't you?" I froze. Slowly looked at her. "What?" She didn't look up from the chart she was holding. "You told me once," she continued, "when your mother was admitted. You said the smell made you sick." My chest tightened. "I never told you that." She paused, then looked at me. Calm. Unbothered. "Yes, you did." "No," I said more firmly this time. "I didn't." She tilted her head slightly. studying me. You don't remember? That question again. That same quiet tone. Like the problem wasn't what she said, but what I couldn't remember. You're doing it again, she added. Forget My hands started shaking. I stepped back. No. Stop saying that. But she stood up now. Slowly. Controlled. You've been under a lot of stress, she said. It's normal. Memory gaps. Confusion. It happens. No, I repeated. This isn't normal. She took a step closer. You signed the reports. I didn't. You wrote the notes. I didn't. Her expression didn't change. Not even slightly. You've always had trouble remembering things, she said quietly. That's not true. But even as I said it, a small part of me hesitated. Because what if? No, I said again louder now. You're lying. For the first time. She smiled. Not wide. Not obvious. Just enough. I'm helping you, she said. That's when something inside me snapped. I turned and walked straight to the records terminal. Pulled up the access logs. Every entry. Every modification. Every signature. My ID. Over and over again. But then I checked the camera logs. Footage tied to those timestamps. Because every station had one. I found the first entry. Room 214. The time matched the chart. The camera showed the hallway. The door. And then, me. Walking into the room. Alone. I watched myself move. Check vitals. Write notes. Exactly like the chart said. I felt sick. Because I didn't remember any of it. Not a second. I kept scrolling. More entries. More footage. All of it showed the same thing. Me. Doing everything. Alone. No Martha. No one else. Just me. And then I noticed something else. Every time I enter a room, right before the camera angle cut, I would stop, for a second, and look slightly to the side, like I was listening to someone standing just out of frame. I turned slowly. Martha was standing behind me, closer than I expected. You see, she said gently. My voice came out barely above a whisper. You're not in the footage. She didn't react. Of course I am, she replied. No, I said, shaking my head. I checked. Every time. You're not there. She stepped even closer, lowered her voice. Because you don't need to see me, she said. A cold wave moved through my body. What does that mean? Her eyes stayed locked on mine. It means, she said softly, you've been doing this on your own for a long time. That's not true. But my voice didn't sound convincing anymore. Because now, I wasn't sure. I requested a transfer the next day. Different floors. Different shifts. They approved it immediately. No questions asked. When I checked the staff records before leaving, there was no Martha. No senior nurse assigned to my shift. No one by that name in the system. They told me I'd been working alone most nights. That I preferred it that way. I don't work night shifts anymore. I don't trust my memory enough to. But sometimes, when I'm reviewing patient notes, I catch myself pausing, listening, like someone standing just behind me, guiding me, correct me. And the worst part, sometimes, I still hear her voice, calm, certain, telling me exactly what to do. And I don't know anymore, if it's really her, or if it's always been me. I don't remember my first night clearly. That's the problem. I remember the job, the warehouse, the long empty aisles stacked with inventory that nobody checked after midnight. The kind of place where your footsteps echo louder than they should. But when I try to think about the first time I heard the noise, it's like the memory skips, like something's missing. I know I worked alone. At least, that's what they told me. Night shift security. 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. Walk the perimeter. Check the locks. Log anything unusual. Simple. Quiet. But there's this sound I can't place. A dull metallic thud. Not loud. Not suddenly. Just there. Like something shifting in the building. And the strange thing is, I don't remember when it started. Because every time I think back to it, it feels like it was always there. Night 3, or maybe 4. I wrote it down at the time, but the logbook doesn't make sense anymore. The timestamps don't line up. Entries repeat. Some pages are filled in my handwriting, but I don't remember writing them. 1:12 a.m., noise from section C. 1:12 a.m. checked. Nothing found. The exact same entry. Twice. Same time. Same wording. I remember walking to section C. Or at least, I think I do. Long aisle. Flickering overhead light. Rows of sealed crates. Everything looked normal. until I reached the storage room at the end. Room C17. The door was open. I'm sure of that, because I remember stopping, staring at it, feeling like I shouldn't go in. But I did. I always do in my memory. I step inside, and then it cuts. Every time. The memory just ends. The next thing I remember is being back at my desk, writing the log. Nothing found. That's what it always says. Nothing found. But that's not true, because I knew something was there. I just don't remember what. I stopped trusting the logs after that, so I started using my phone, recording voice notes. Time-stamped. Proof I couldn't forget. 1:10 a.m. Heading to Section C, noise again. I remember saying that. Clear. Focused. I walked the same route. Same aisles. Same flickering light. Same open door. C17. I stood there longer this time, because something felt different. Like I had been here more times than I could count. I turned on the flashlight and stepped inside. The room was empty. Concrete walls. Metal shelves. No movement. But then, that sound again. Closer this time. Behind me. I turned. Nothing. Just the doorway. Still open. But something felt wrong. I stepped back. Out of the room. And for a second, I swear, I saw the door move. Not close. Just shift. Like someone was standing behind it. Holding it. I backed away slowly. Didn't take my eyes off it. Then I heard my phone. Still recording. So later, I listened to it. And that's when everything broke. Because the audio didn't match what I remembered. My voice was there. 1:10 a.m. Heading to Section C. Footsteps. Breathing. The door creaking. Then silence. Long silence. And then, another voice. Not mine. Calm. Low. Close to the phone. You came back. I dropped the phone when I heard it. Because I don't remember that. I don't remember anyone being there. But it was on the recording. Clear as mine. And then my voice again. But different. Quieter. Like I was responding. I had to. I don't remember saying that either. I went back through the old logs. Every page. Every entry. Looking for patterns. That's when I noticed it. The times didn't just repeat. The nights did. Same entries. Same wording. Same sequence. Over and over again. Like I wasn't working multiple shifts. I was reliving the same one. And then I found something worse. A page I don't remember writing. At the very end of the logbook. Different handwriting. Still mine. But Messier. Unstable. He's already inside. He doesn't leave. He waits in AC-17. My chest tightened. Because suddenly, that missing part of the memory, it started to come back. Not clearly. Just enough. Enough to understand. I don't work there anymore. At least, I think I don't. That's the problem with fragmented memories. You're never sure where the timeline actually ends. Sometimes I wake up thinking it was all a dream. That I left. That I quit. But then I hear it. That same metallic sound. Somewhere nearby. And for a split second, I'm back in that warehouse. Standing in front of C17. The door is slightly open. Waiting. Like I've done it before. Like I'll do it again. Because the truth is, I don't think I ever found out what was inside. I think it found me first. And whatever was in that building, it didn't need to escape. It just needed me to keep coming back. Night shifts at a gas station aren't as quiet as people think. There's always someone. Truck drivers, late commuters, people who don't want to be home. And then there was him. He started coming in around my second week. Always the same time. 2:17 a.m. Not 2:15. Not 2:20. Exactly 2:17. At first, I didn't question it. People have routines. He'd walk in, nod once, grab the same thing, a bottle of water, and place it on the counter. Never anything else. Never a word at first. Just quiet. Too quiet. The kind of quiet that feels deliberate. But then, after a few nights, he started talking. Not small talk. Not normal questions. Personal ones. Do you live nearby? Do you work alone every night? Do you lock the back door? I laughed it off the first time. Told myself he was just awkward. But he didn't laugh back. He just watched me. Waiting. Like my answers mattered more than they should. That was when I first felt it. That something about him wasn't right. After a week, I started noticing something strange. Every time he came in, the register would glitch. Not crash. Just hesitate. Like it was lagging. I'd scan the water. The screen would freeze for a second, then go back to normal. At first, I thought it was the system. Old hardware. Cheap setup. But then I checked the logs. Every transaction is recorded automatically. Time-stamped. Itemized. There should have been a record for every night he came in. There wasn't. Not a single one. I scrolled back through days. Then weeks. Nothing. No 2:17 a.m. entries. No bottled water purchases at that time. It was like he never existed. I even checked the inventory. The numbers were off. Bottles missing. No sales to match. I told my manager the next day. He didn't seem concerned. System errors happen, he said. Just keep an eye on it. So I did. The next night, I paid closer attention. 2:17 a.m. Right on time. The door opened. The bell rang. He walked in. Same as always. Same slow steps. Same quiet presence. I didn't say anything this time. Just watched. He placed the bottle on the counter. And smiled. You've been checking the logs, he said. My stomach dropped. I hadn't told anyone about that. Not even my manager. I don't know what you mean, I said quickly. He tilted his head. You do, he replied. And then, he leaned in slightly. You won't find me there. That night felt different. I don't know how to explain it. The air felt heavier, like something had shifted. I rang up the bottle. The register froze again. But this time, it didn't come back immediately. The screen flickered, glitched, then went blank. I looked up. He was still there, watching me. You should check the cameras, he said. My hands felt cold. Why? I asked. His smile didn't change. Because you keep looking in the wrong place. The screen behind me showed the CCTV feeds. 4 camera angles. Front door. Aisle. Counter. Back hallway. All running. All normal. I turned slightly to check them. And for a moment, everything froze. Not just the register. The cameras. The footage. Like time itself paused. Then, the screens flickered. And one by one, the feeds disappeared. Static. Every single one. Except one. The back hallway. I stared at it. Because something was wrong. The door at the end of the hallway. The storage door. It was open. That door is never open. It's locked from the inside. Only staff can access it. I turned back to him. What did you do? He didn't answer. He just nodded toward the screen. Go look. Every instinct told me not to. But something stronger. Something I couldn't explain. Pushed me to move. I walked around the counter. Toward the back hallway. Each step felt slower than it should. Like I was walking into something I already knew. The door was open. Just like the camera showed. Dark inside. Too dark. I stepped closer. And that's when I heard it. Movement. Inside the room. Not loud. Just enough. Like someone shifting their weight. I stopped. Hello? I called out. No response. I took one more step. And then, I saw it. Not clearly. Just a shape. Standing deeper in the darkness. Watching me. I stepped back immediately. Heart racing. And then I heard it. Right behind me. You found it. I turned around. He was standing right there. Closer than he had ever been. How are you doing this? I asked. My voice barely steady. He looked past me. Toward the open door. I don't come in, he said quietly. The words didn't make sense at first. What? I don't come in, he repeated. My chest tightened. Because suddenly, everything started to connect. The missing logs. The glitched register. The cameras failing. You're already here, I whispered. He smiled. Wider this time. And for the first time, it didn't look human. I always have been. I quit the next day. Didn't give a reason. Didn't go back. A week later, I heard something strange. The gas station shut down. Temporarily, they said. Renovations. But someone I used to work with told me something else. They found an access point behind the storage room. Hidden. Old. Like it had been there longer than the building itself. And inside, there were signs someone had been living there. Watching. Waiting. I try not to think about it. But sometimes, at exactly 2:17 a.m., I wake up. For no reason. No sound. No movement. Just this feeling. Like someone standing nearby. Not outside. Not trying to get in. Already inside. And somehow, still watching me.